Yeah.
and shit.
Check me out.
Yes,
No.
player.
Yes.
Yes, player. Yes. Oh, yes. All right, so check it out. Well, go ahead, Doug.
Okay.
I heard you. No, you first.
Okay.
No, you.
Well, I just had a random thought. I know you're shocked.
Shocked.
I wonder if there's like a dirty magician that pulls dildos from behind people's ears.
Well, you're kind of a dirty fuck, and we know how much you love magic and magic tricks.
Oh, yes.
So if
I
this
hate
is you
magic.
announcing your new hobby, I'm totally down with it. Pull a dildo out of my ear, Doug.
Call it the mindfuck.
Brain blast.
Mindfuck.
What the fuck? Hang on. I think I could sue you for this.
Mindfuck.
Chris Angel, mindfuck.
Speaking of getting
Mindfuck.
sued, I just want everyone to know that this podcast is now not sponsored by Monster Energy Drink, nor has it ever been sponsored by Monster Energy Drink. Unleash the Beast. Make sure everybody knew that.
Yeah, that's what I say when I unzip my pants is I'm unleashing the beast.
You can use coupon code Bullshirt on the Monster Energy website to
Oh, God,
get
please do.
4 free packs of Monster with your order of over $50.
Because Monster Energy Drink. Yeah.
Yeah, they do not sponsor this podcast.
They absolutely do not sponsor.
They did not
Bullshit.
give us $50,000 to mention them on the podcast.
Monster Energy Drink, partially owned by Coca-Cola, definitely did not give us $50,000 to mention them on this podcast.
We did not quit
Well,
our
okay, yeah.
jobs because Monster
We did
gave
not
us
quit our jobs. No, we did not.
$50,000.
Luckily, we got that Anheuser-Busch sponsorship for, seem to be hurting these days.
I'm standing with Kid Rock on this, guys. Said nobody ever.
So Monster Energy Drink was in the news again. They were suing a independent video game developer for using the word monster in their video game. And when I say using the name Monster, I don't mean like they had cans of Monster Energy Drink in their game or anything. They just named the game like Monsters or something. There's been several games. One of them was like Monsters and Magic, and Monster came in and sued the living shit out of them, and they changed it to something else. So they apparently believe that they own the word monster now. And we were collectively reading the article and laughing about it and thought that that was kind of stupid. Why you would, a company that big, they're a $1 billion company, why they would need to sue people for using the word monster. And again, not their monster, not artistically looking like theirs or anything, just the word monster. So we'll probably name this episode Monster.
I think there's a new game coming out, Creature Hunter World.
Creature Hunter World. Yeah.
Yeah, they're having
Yes.
the new HD remaster, but they had to
change the
name. Yeah.
From Monster Hunter.
Well, hey, don't say it too much. We might be under the gun.
Hey, if they want to sue us, that'd be the best damn publicity we ever got.
Oh yeah,
we could collectively come up with like $3,000 or $4,000, just enough to be like, we're fucked, and then that'd be great publicity.
yeah.
So
just
we could
cover
start a
court
GoFundMe.
costs and defend ourselves.
Oh my God! For the record, I am so fucking down for that. I am so fucking down for that.
I'll put on my finest suit and tie, and we'll walk in there. It has SpongeBob on it.
It would remind me of the guys from South Park going to the Oscars or whatever it was in dresses, tripping on acid. I feel like it would have the same vibe. The four of us walking in ill-fitting suits. No, that's hearsay, Your Honor. And
I would I would just stand there, and when we got people, it's like when we got whoever up on the stand, I would say, do you have the ability to drink a podcast?
I
Have
can
you
see
ever,
where you might get confused.
have you ever crawled across the desert and been so thirsty you said, "Give me that fat fucking podcast"?
Do you need a little pick me up? Open up an ice cold Bullshirt podcast today.
And we all
Ugh.
have 5X suits on.
Oh yeah, they'd have to be ill fitting. They'd have to be
Oh,
like
of course.
floppy or like super tight. I'm so fat. If I put one of my suits on, I've got two suits that back in 2014, 2015, I had tailored. I was about 30, 40 pounds lighter. So I'm sure trying to pour my fat ass into one of those would look
You might
humorous.
pop
So
a
Yeah.
what you
button.
got to do is get the wife beater that's about 2 sizes too small. Wear that under your coat.
Absolutely. It's just like, Your Honor, forget about it. That would be my entire argument every time somebody asks me a
We're
question.
just gonna be
Mr.
greasy
Adams.
Italians.
Did you purposely, use the name Monster? Like, hey, forget about it. Yeah, that's all I'd say over and over. Robbie mentioned Anheuser-Busch, and that reminded me there's a lot of controversy right now because Bud Light has been putting a picture of a woman on their cans. It's a transgender woman, and I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But that's been bothering a bunch of people, as you can imagine, right? You can imagine the demographic. I mean, it wasn't like Bush beer, that'd be totally different. But the joke going around is that it makes sense because, a man pretending to be a woman versus a can of water pretending to be beer. So, I personally will drink a Bud Light. I don't mind Bud Light myself. But, hey, look, I didn't make up the fucking joke, okay? I saw it like used by 8 billion fucking people on Reels or Instagram stories or whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know.
Did you see Kid Rock firing full automatic at the 3 cases of Bud Light that he went and bought and gave them money to buy?
No, I did not.
Yeah,
It
so
doesn't
Kid Rock
sound like something we do.
Kid Rock posts this video, and it starts off with him with his back to the camera because he has a hat on backwards, so you can see that his hat says MAGA on it. And then he turns around, and he's like something along the lines of, "I'm gonna make this crystal clear." And then he pulls a gun out and fires fully automatic into this stack of beer that he has in his yard. And then he says, "Fuck Anheuser-Busch."
Kid Rock is such a piece of fucking shit. He is such a complete dirtball fucking piece of shit.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I'm sure as everyone is aware that's listening to this, but there might be some people out there. He's not just a piece of shit for this incident. Proceed.
no. Right. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that, Doug, for people who think that maybe I'm just that upset over him shooting beer with a transgender person on it. It's just, he's just a piece of shit. Just everything that he's done over the last few years, he's just such an epic piece of shit.
Ball with the Ball goes kind of hard though.
He had that first album that he dropped, the major label album, was fun. It was a fun album. I'm not gonna lie. I like Bob DeBaugh. There's a couple of good songs on there, but being a decent artist does not keep you from being a complete piece of shit. So,
I didn't really think it went hard. I was just saying that.
It was fun back in the day.
It was all right when it first came out, and it was a song, and then he started to try to do other things, and
it was
my
all of it was
theory-
terrible.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was all terrible.
That was
It
it was
what you're good
one.
at.
Theory of a lot of times when you hear a first album by a band and it's just amazing, well, it's just amazing because they've been working on that for 12 years. And effectively, that's their greatest hits compilation of the shit that they have put together.
And now they got
Up
2
to that
years to make
point.
the second one.
Right, and they can't
Right.
do it. They don't have the talent and even with all the writers and producers, because that's the other thing, man. When they pick up a band like that, when a record label is going to invest in a band like that, they get them great producers and shit. And you know, I've been in like real studios, and the producers and the guys on the board and stuff, like, they interject things. One of the CDs that I did, the guy that was there was from a record company that we were recording a song for like a little compilation thing that they did, and they would shop that around, and then if people liked this, to see if people liked the song that you did, and then if so, you might get to work with this record company or whatever. We went over to Atlanta, and the producer dude that was there was like rearranging our song and shit. Now, I'm going to tell you, the changes he made were good. Like, it wasn't like the guy's like, no, you should put some cowbell right there. The guy was good. Like, he knew what he was doing. But it made me realize just, and that was just he was there for a couple hours, one song, and he's gone. If you were doing that over weeks and months to get a record company's investment back in a band, you can make anybody sound good. I mean, Adam can tell you, right? I mean, you know recording software better than I do. You can.
Yeah, I can make myself sound good.
I mean, I didn't want to say it, but just saying.
I've seen mixing engineers add like 808 and stuff to songs, which I thought was weird at first, but then I've seen them do it enough that it seems like it's kind of normal for them to add stuff, which I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird. Like, you send your song off to get mixed, and then they bring it back, and it has a new element to it instead of,
that you didn't record and shit like that. And the thing is people don't care nowadays in the sense of as an artist, because most people just want to make it big, So hey, whatever, man, if it sounds cool. One of the bands I was in, we used to take shit from recording engineers because we wanted to do everything live, and they fucking hated that. They hated that for multiple reasons. But it was because we never wanted our CD to sound. This is back CDs. I don't think we ever did any MP3s. We never wanted our CD to sound better than we did, in the sense of, like, I've gone and seen bands that I really liked, and the one that pops out in my head is Disturbed. And I went and saw them, and the show was just lame. Like, they weren't terrible, but it was just boring as fuck. It was a lot thinner because they doubled and tripled and quadrupled up guitars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was like, but then years later, someone did bring up something to me that I've thought about since, in that your album also should be the best possible you. Like, because that album's going to go on. I mean, listen, we're still listening from shit from the 60s and 50s and beyond today, and probably will be hundreds of years from now. So it makes sense that, your CD, your recordings are timeless. They're forever. So you want them to sound like, the best possible version of you. So there's that too. But I think there's a line there where you don't want to not, like, when I go see you live and I'm like, what the fuck is this? To me, that's, I don't know.
It's catfishing music. Catfishing.
Right.
I mean,
yes.
let's call it what it is. It's musical catfishing.
I love it. It's sonic catfishing. I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. And you're right. You go see a band and they're not what they put on the CD, and it is basically the exact same concept. And I just, as a music fan, I mean, I understand bands have bad nights. Fuck, I know we did. And you can tell when a band can't hear themselves on stage. There's a place in Columbus called the Newport that used to be a big theater back in like the 1920s or something. And you walk in, it's beautiful. It's got all the marble everywhere. And you go back to the stage, and it's designed to, like, project voices and stuff out into the audience. But your monitors would be there, and if you move to the left or right, it's weird because you're standing up there, you're thinking you can hear everything, and you can't. All of a sudden, you can't hear yourself. You can't hear what the singer's doing. It was fucking awful. And it made me realize that there are probably nights that I've gone and seen bands that they had similar issues. But then some bands just do not sound like their album. Um, there's a lot of bands that use, what was that? Was it Falling in Reverse? They took a bunch of shit they canceled a bunch of shows because their MacBooks and their backup MacBooks got lost by their road crew. So they didn't even, they canceled like a week's worth of shows because they
Oh
said they couldn't do
God.
them. Yeah. And the community was just kind of tearing them a new ass. And people are like, oh, everybody does it. And I'm like, yeah, but one, how do you not have whatever your samples and shit are somewhere like on the cloud, right? First of all, to where you could just go buy a MacBook, download it, and be done. One. Two, if your show is that dependent upon samples and stuff, are you really like a rock band anymore? You know? I mean, I don't know. It just seemed kind of weird to me.
To
But
me, it's like the backups would be what the road crew was packing, but the main one, the whatever, that would be in my possession, you
right.
know, practically taped to my ass.
Right. I think if my entire show, which is basically your living, right? I mean, if my living depended on it exactly, I would have my own, and the road crew would have a set, and then there'd be a backup set. But again, I would have all of that online somewhere that could be downloaded and installed on any MacBook I could go to an Apple store and buy. So
Dude, there
yeah.
would be the most secure thumb drive that you ever saw in your life, and a lot
Right.
safe.
Yeah, like I said, if my job depended on it, if my financial well being depended on it, um, I mean, but it's like where does Milli Vanilli start and just backing tracks end? You know what I mean? Like where's that fine line? Somewhere Milli Vanilli was mad. So,
Well, I don't know. It's like you've got people like Dead Mouse. I consider him an artist, but
mhm.
he's building and layering his own stuff.
Right, right. I
So
think
I mean,
anybody who says that like EDM and like stuff that Dead Mouse does, electronic music isn't music, I think is really kind of missing out on the point because if you watch how I was watching, what the hell's that? Masterclass, I think it was. And it was Dead Mouse's masterclass, and he was showing how he makes his music. And I'm sorry, but it's legit, right? Because he starts with absolutely fucking nothing. And what's the difference between strumming a string and making a frequency, a noise, and a machine creating the noise and you manipulating it to the point that it becomes a song? I don't know that there is much of a difference, really.
My thing is
Just
that like if
manipulate it.
dead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say manipulating a mouse, manipulating a string. I mean, what's the difference? It's still an art form in itself.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
it would be different if you could give, we'll say we'll take you know, someone who doesn't know squat about anything. Drop them out of the blue. Let's say a 15-year-old kid. I can't take a 15-year-old kid, give them 10 minutes of instructions, and then crank out dead mouse quality level shit.
Right. Any more than you could give them a guitar. Exactly. You know,
Well, if you say like Dead Mouse isn't an artist, it's like saying Mozart or like Beethoven wasn't. They weren't making music because they didn't play it.
because they didn't play it themselves, right? They were more the composers of
Yeah,
it,
he
Yeah.
right?
was a
But you
Well,
could
they
visual
never.
composer.
And
they
some people do say that Mozart wasn't a musician; he was a composer, and that's fine. Then you should say that a lot of the EDM that's out there that these guys are composers of electronic music.
well,
Um,
Speaking of
it's
that, look how much John Williams is appreciated for what he's composed over the
mhm,
years.
mhm.
Who's
And
that?
I
He's that
assume that
guy.
the who's that guy? Who's John Williams? And I assume that if push came to shove, the man probably could sit down and play every instrument that he can write for. I mean,
Yeah,
that's an
well,
assumption on my part. I
how
don't know.
most of them did it. When he got into the later stages, as his deafness was rising, he actually took his, I think it was it was either a piano or a harpsichord, and had the legs sawed off of them to where it was laying on the floor, and he would play with his head on the floor
Mm.
so he could get the vibrations through the floor to still somewhat hear what he was doing.
Autism at its finest, right there, buddy. Autism at its finest. I think most great artists, musicians, authors, etc., are what you would call neurodivergent, whether it was autism, ADHD, schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, whatever. You just don't convey that kind of emotion uh, and be neurotypical. Just be like a normal, everyday, perfectly uh, balanced human being.
I think most musicians have shown themselves over time to be pretty normal and stable.
None of them self-medicate with drugs or alcohol or sex or any of those
They're
things.
never
So
really in the news for doing crazy stuff or
no,
saying weird
no,
things. It's
no.
always just you never hear from them, and then they drop an album, and then you like it, and then that's it.
And then
Yeah,
they
Kanye West is in her chat.
I was gonna say, and then and then they pee on a 12-year-old in a closet, but whatever. Yeah, Kanye West, that goofy bastard. That's a pretty good example, actually. I was never a big fan of his music, but I know a lot of people think that he's quite the goat. So
He
Like the
is.
Kid Rock of the rap world.
that's what I've
Oh,
heard.
come on, come
Yeah,
on.
that's.
He
I
was
think
good.
that's
He's responsible for Jay-Z being so famous.
really.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he is. He produced all of Jay-Z's early stuff. And the only reason Jay-Z's music's good is because of the beats.
That's fair. He did have sick beats, as the kids say these
He
days.
did.
Right,
I thought
but
Dre did those.
Y'all act like you forgot about Dre. Damn it.
well
Never
timed,
heard of him.
Robbie. Well timed.
What's that? Sorry about that.
Uh-oh.
My phone did something weird. There we go.
Oh, I thought the aliens were coming to get you.
The lizard people. There's a new Y files
Oh, I'm
this
so ready. 9
this
o'clock my
evening.
time.
9 year
Yep.
time. Yeah. For those of you that aren't familiar, well, by the time this comes out, it'll have been yesterday, not today. But the Y files it's a channel on YouTube that delves into conspiracy theories and whatnot. It's very well done, actually, and well balanced. I didn't watch them at first because I like conspiracy theory stuff, but I don't really. I'm like, ugh, some of it they're just really stretching. But I like the way how he balances it out, and it kind of reminds me of a modern day Coast to Coast, which was on the radio. Might have even been AM radio. I can't remember. But I used to listen to it as a kid, like on Sunday nights or something like that.
Talking about Space Ghost?
No, it's
No,
not Space Ghost Coast to Coast,
he
but
knows.
yeah, he
Yeah,
knows.
that was that song Glass Animals did, right?
He's
There a
trolling and
video game that tied in that damn radio show where like aliens came down and they were just
It tied
like,
into Coast to Coast?
yeah, it was. There was some video game where you had a large alien mothership that was basically running around sucking up humans for food and whatever else because all their technology was biological based. And periodically, you would hear excerpts from a mock coast to coast broadcast done
Are
by
you
the
talking about
actual guy.
are you talking
that's
about Destroy
Skyline.
All Humans?
May have been. I don't
He's like,
remember. I played
If
the shit.
I played that game, and if there was little inserts from like Art Bell, I wouldn't have noticed
Yes.
because I never heard it. Like I never listened to it.
But yes, if you're not familiar, it's Coast to Coast with Art Bell. I don't think it's been around, for many years. I don't even know if he's alive, but it was really fascinating as a kid to sit and listen to. Sometimes a little creepy, right? But it was really good stuff, and that's what Y Files reminds me of. It's got that same. I guarantee that dude is an old Art Bell fan or an old Coast to Coast fan. There's no way he's not. So
Oh, if you watch those little after shows, they're pretty cool. He's more open on those little after show live stream things that he does.
like open,
Ah,
like he tells you about how his Uncle Steve touched him, or like
He's more like, I believe this and this, instead of just being like, this may have been what happened. We'll never know. He's
interesting.
and
like, I believe this and this, but I don't believe that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it.
Oh, it was Prey.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, okay. I never played it, but it was fucking huge.
yeah, I
Remember
played the
Prey,
crap out of that game. I just couldn't remember it because it's only been 18 years.
right? Yeah, and it says that Bell was featured in the video game and played himself. That's kind of cool. So
That is really cool.
Uncle Steve, old Uncle Steve, touching the Y Files guy. Pretty sure Uncle Steve was a Boy Scout troop leader, if I remember correctly. I'm not insinuating anything about old Uncle Steve and the Boy Scouts, but I've heard things, man.
I usually get violated by Uncle Sam, usually around the beginning of the year.
Usually around April, yeah, this time of year. Yeah, I owe. I have.
I
I've
don't
been
know.
meaning to sit and pay that.
I don't know how Uncle Steve can molest anyone. He spent like 10 hours listening to his stories.
But I'm kiss. Yes, I owe Uncle Sam because I discovered I've owed them the last few years. Not a lot, mind you, but enough that I don't like it. And I happened to be poking around at my W4 and discovered that my status was still set to married. So I don't think they were taking enough out. Um,
Oh no. Oh no.
Oopsie.
yeah. So I did change that at the beginning of this year. So I'm hoping that at the end of 2023 that I don't owe anything. Um,
That was a nice change in your tax deductions too, I bet.
yeah, I haven't gone through. I haven't gone through and compared uh, my taxes
Don't.
before and
Just
after.
just don't.
Just don't.
It's better if you
look,
don't know.
look, man. I can still pay my rent and put the good Tillamook cheese in my refrigerator. So I feel like I'm doing okay.
That charcuterie board going.
Yes, sir.
This
Nothing
is
like a good,
ridiculous.
nothing like a good charcuterie board.
We can't do inside jokes if this is being posted.
Yes, we can.
I mean, we can.
We can, and we will.
I guess we can.
We do
Yeah.
all the time. Most of our podcasts
Smart.
have inside jokes in them, Adam, and you know. All right.
They do. Okay, fine. You know what? Fine.
See, people wouldn't
Fuck
even
it,
know
we'll
that
do
they
it
were
live.
inside jokes until you blurted that out. So now we
When
have
they
to
don't
have you
make any
killed.
sense.
Well, oh yeah, because of this. If there's one thing that this podcast is known for, it's making a lot of sense, and
Our podcast makes a little too much sense sometimes, I feel like.
that you are alone in that feeling, sir.
So about those lizard people.
Right. Just saying. I mean, we've talked about an island of women that you could go to. What are some other dumb things that we fucking talked about? God, there's so many I can't even. Didn't you guys do an episode once without me about the perfect burger or something?
The slopper?
The
Is that what we're talking about?
slumber. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's what you're talking
We didn't
about? Yeah.
refer to it as the perfect burger.
I don't remember. I wasn't there.
Yeah,
And then-
the perfect slopper.
And there was the Violator or whatever it was. It seems like whenever I wasn't there and you guys did the podcast on yourself, that things just got weird, man. And that's kind of creepy. That I am
Have
the
you
Yeah,
voice
met
of
it is.
me?
reason.
I would agree that's weird.
It's weird. I should never be the voice of reason,
No, and you're still not. So,
but apparently I am.
no,
What a
you're
weird
still not.
timeline we're in.
Dan
You-
speaks for the chocolate covered raisins in the world. He's the voice of reasons.
The voice of raisins.
Must be all those vitamins he's getting from not Monster.
from not Monster. All of
Or
those B
cognitive
vitamins.
ability.
The cat
It's got
apparently.
guarana and shit.
That's what it says on the can. Guarana and shit. Guarana and guano.
God, we should make our own energy drink. I wonder what that costs to because somebody out there will manufacture a third party like that. You know what I mean? I bet you.
Yeah, we'll just put our label on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we'll make our own. We'll be making it ourselves and shipping it out to you guys. It's not going to be drop shipped. All right, we're going to be
squeezed.
mixing this in house, of course.
We squeeze it from the bats ourselves, so that they get fresh guano.
The voice of reason, huh?
The
Handmade.
voice of raisins.
Voices freeze. No, reasons. The chocolate covered raisins.
Mhm.
What? Reasons?
Reasons Pieces?
You never eaten
No,
raisins?
you're confused, bud. No, there's no
No,
such
you're
thing.
talking about those caramel things that old people always had in their home, like
Yeah.
What? Why did I think that was?
REISEN.
Yeah.
no.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, we can't have inside jokes in the podcast, but we can
Never
have
mind.
fucking stupid
we
jokes.
can have jokes that don't make sense.
Don't make any sense whatsoever.
All right. First off, that's not how I sound. All right.
Hey, man, you
well, actually,
Actually. Meow. Calm down back there. My cat is standing facing the couch. She's blind, right? She's 18 years old. She's blind, arthritic, I think a little senile, but she has a good life. She just sleeps, eats, shits, and purrs like a finely tuned diesel engine. That's all that cat does is purr. If she's awake, she's purring. That's why I think she's senile. I think she's just off in her own little world all the
Her
time.
rumbler's broken. It's just stuck on.
just goes. And
Some-
when she wants on the couch now, she can't get up on the furniture anymore. She can't jump. She can barely walk. So she'll stand with her face pushed into the couch and just yell at me until I pick her up and put her on the couch. And she's
Hey.
over there doing it. And I'm like, I can't right
You're
now.
reinforcing the behavior. All right.
I am. Oh, I absolutely am. Yeah. There's no two ways about that. She comes in my bedroom at the butt crack of fucking dawn because she's ready for bed and does the same thing and yells at me until I put her in the bed. So she's not the spry little kitty that she used to be, but she's still happy and relatively healthy. She's got her quirks, but the vet said that she's actually in really good shape for her age. I'm pretty sure she's trying to outlive me out of spite, but
She's surviving on pure hate.
pure fucking cat hatred at this point, right? Like, we're not sure why she's alive, but she's emitting this strange energy and her body heat's around 130 degrees Fahrenheit. It's like,
yeah, so it's a cat. It's a cat.
Right, so it's a cat surviving on hatred. So now she's laying on her back staring at me. Like, look at me, I'm cute. Put me on the couch, you fuck. So cats are cool, man. I like my cats. I like my dogs. I love my dogs. I love my cats. I do remind people that cats can live to be 20, especially if they're well taken care of. I've always wanted a bird, but those fucking things can live like 30, 40 years, depending on the I was going to say the model, depending on the make and model that you get. I think it's the gray African parrot. I fucking love those things. They're so cool. But yeah, I think they have a lifespan of like 30 years or 35
Don't do
years.
it. Don't be a bird guy, please.
If they didn't shit everywhere, I probably would. But I've known people with birds and they're not dirty people. I'm not insinuating that. But it was like, if they let him out, the bird was going to shit. Like birds literally do not have the function to stop themselves from shitting. They just their bodies aren't made to do that. Like you can clench and not poop. A dog can clench and not poop. Birds lack the ability to do that. Like they don't have the muscles or some shit.
You
Um,
know, it's at this point that I'm convinced that they torture detainees in Guantanamo Bay with our podcast.
Cloaca.
All right then. Well, about the how about the financial sector? How's that going, Doug?
They just arrested Trump. They just arrested Trump.
Yeah, yeah. He's going to plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
You only do that when you're guilty.
I mean, who said that? Oh, wait, that's right. He did.
Old Donnie T.
He's another one. That piece of shit. And everybody's like, oh, Orange Man bad. You didn't like the Orange Man. Dude, I didn't like Trump 20 fucking years prior. I thought he was a weird ass fucking piece of shit. And when he was running for president, I was like, this has got to be a joke, right? And then he won. And I realized at that point that we are obviously living in a simulation being ran by a fucking 12-year-old.
Like I said, it's a weird timeline.
This particular dimension is fucked. So I don't
Someone
know.
installed too many mods on this timeline.
I mean, the only thing about it for me personally, it's like there's multiple layers.
There's multiple
But,
layers. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I mean, just like a what do you call it? Like a dump. It's got multiple layers of things that are wrong with it. But first and foremost to me is, God bless that man can't think his way out of a paper bag. It's and I could go off and go on and on and on, but it's like, damn, you were sitting there, and when he went in, it's like, how bad could this be? Because I don't think he's really smart enough to really get away with anything. But willpower.
Oh
I just
yeah.
don't know what's going on there, but I'm done with my cycles on that guy.
He's it's definitely the power of positive thinking with that dude. It just goes to show that it works.
I am going to get away with it. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
manifesting that I'm
manifesting.
going to get away with this.
He is proof that manifesting does work. You just have to be so fucking stupid that you believe it.
It's just
yeah,
weird Jedi mind control powers. You would think you would only hear it out of his mouth. Like you would be like, he would say it and everybody would go, ah, ha, 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 that's hilarious. And we would all move on. But no,
Right.
it's
No.
this weird, I don't know. He's the Pied Piper of some really special people.
He really is the definition of a narcissist, and so much so he shows that a narcissist can control weak-minded people, right? That people who are out there, they see it and they want to believe it. They want to believe that someone is, this all-knowing, all-powerful entity. Meanwhile, people with a brain, and listen, here's the thing. I've come to realize, like, for many, many years, my self-esteem or lack thereof has made it difficult for me to understand this. But now, after years of therapy, psychiatrists, medication, etc., I've come to realize that I'm just smarter than a lot of people. And that may come across as arrogant and
So tell us more about how someone else is a
narcissist.
narcissist. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's like you almost rolled into a segment there where you should practically be wearing a shirt that says, "Let me tell you how awesome I am."
Let me tell you how awesome I am, guys. No, see, and that's the thing, right? Is that when you say that you're smart, people wanna jump on that and they want to call you a narcissist and whatnot. I know that I'm not a narcissist, but I have accepted that I am smarter than a lot of people. And here's the thing, and I'm gonna blow your minds with this. The three of you are also smarter than most people. I know. I know. Now, the people listening to our podcast, they might be idiots. I don't know. I'm not
Hey,
sure.
mom. He's not talking about you. Talking
I-
about you.
See, now usually you'd be the one to be like, my mom. Shut
He's
up.
not talking about you. All right. He's talking about everyone else that listens to this.
About everybody else except for you, mom.
Yeah, all those
Wait,
other
wait.
people.
What if my mom listens?
We can only pardon one mom. Sorry, my
Oh,
mom's
fuck.
dead. So
Meanwhile, someone whose name I can't pronounce in Guantanamo Bay is screaming.
just gave up the secrets. All right, I will talk. Make them stop. Yes, the four of us. I'm sorry for those of you listening. The four of us are the pinnacle of intelligence. You simply don't get any smarter, insightful, or just flat out glorious than the four people you are listening to right now.
The Bullshirt podcast is actually a spin-off project of Mensa.
Yes, so we didn't want people to know. I'm pretty sure some of you already figured it out, just based on our witty banter and how deep and logical our conversations go.
Also, it's from the cognitive enhancing abilities of all those B vitamins that we take.
By drinking Monster Energy drink,
Not Monster.
not Monster Energy drink.
I was about to say by not drinking Monster Energy drink.
Circle RTM.
Circle R, TM. I'm actually more of a sugar-free Red Bull guy myself. I don't understand why a company like Monster would do shit like that when there are so many other energy drinks out there. Like, it's not like when Monster started, they were a big deal, right? Because they weren't one of the first. I think Red Bull was first, but Monster was big. They had all the the dirt bike guys and the race cars and stuff like that,
Well,
right?
To be fair, Red Bull was doing the same crap.
Right.
It's, the
But they're not
main
suing the
thing
fuck out
that
of
they
everybody.
differentiated themselves with in the beginning was the size of their can.
Size matters. Just saying.
Yeah, because Red Bulls were traditionally served in the little 8.5 ounce thing,
Mm-hmm. And they
if
still
you
are.
bought a
8.4.
Monster, it was a 16-ounce can, so it was literally
Right.
twice the size of their nearest competitor. So they sort of stood out, and then they got into the Gen X game of we're
Mhm.
gonna sponsor all these wild stunts and
We're so
dirt bike things.
extreme.
Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, there's a
Then
reason
they
why
came
we're
out with
Gen
the
X, because everything had to be extreme.
they came out with that big fucking can or whatever.
Yeah, the
that was like
BFC, dude. I used to
Yeah.
drink those all the time.
the heart palpitation edition.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm having all these health issues.
Dude, I know, right? I've
It
told
was
you
a
guys.
32-ounce can. Yeah.
When I worked a night shifts. Ow! Of course, I drank the living hell out of those things, and then moved to day shift. But I created kind of a habit and was having these heart palpitations where I'd stand up, go to walk, and it would feel like somebody was hitting me with a rubber mallet in the chest. My heart would just make this incredible thud, and I'd feel sick to my stomach and lightheaded. So I go to the doctor, and we're talking, and blood work's coming back fine, of course, and all that. And at one point, though, the guy asked me, he's like, or I think he even asked specifically if I drank energy drinks. I was like, well, yeah. How many? I'm like, 2, 3, 4. And he's like 4 a week. I was like, 4 a day. He's like, no, you don't. I was like, yeah, I do. What size? And I told him, like the monsters or whatever. So he calculates the caffeine. He's like, how long you been doing that? 3, 4 years, I guess. I don't know. I mean, at one time I had a Monster refrigerator, a Monster cooler. I won a year's worth of free Monster. It's a long story, but he's like, yeah, you got to stop that. You're going to die. So I weaned off the caffeine, and shockingly, the heart palpitation stopped. So
It's weird how that works.
I know. So I do limit my caffeine intake pretty strongly now. I have one, sometimes two, of the little 8.4 ounce Red Bulls. I do the sugar free just because, but yeah, those things they're not good for you. I know, Adam, you probably you don't probably still drink the fuck out of them like you used to, do you?
I don't drink any energy drinks anymore.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I was
Adam
on
was a
the rain pretty hard
yeah, I remember that.
for a while. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are good. But yeah, I stopped drinking all that stuff.
I figured you did with all
Which is funny because most ADHD people that are unmedicated tend to
the
self medicate with nicotine or caffeine.
uh-huh.
Not
Or
me.
both.
It was something different for me. It
Yeah,
was probably just for the energy.
yeah.
I totally
Those
don't have ADHD. I do not. Nuh-uh.
low thyroid hormones.
I was dating a chick a couple years ago that she obviously had ADHD, and she would get so fucking mad when I would say that. And then she would proceed to like have all the symptoms. And I guess it's because she's my age, and growing up, the kids that were ADHD were the ones that would like just spaz out in the middle of class and be like, and they'd have to take them out in the hall and shit. Um, Unbeknownst, there was probably a half a dozen other people in that class that had ADHD, just didn't have, not to that level. Um, but yeah, I mean, I remember as a teenager, you guys remember Doug? Well, you got Adam might too. Jolt Cola.
Yeah,
Oh
I
god, yes.
remember
It
it.
was like the double caffeine cola before energy drinks became
Yeah,
a thing.
yeah, and they
Yeah,
were so bad. They tasted so bad.
I
The
think it
shitty
was.
RC cola.
Yes, that is a
I think it
perfect way to
was
describe it.
marketed as twice the caffeine and all of the sugar.
Yeah, yeah, it had twice the sugar in it too. Um, we used to play D&D, and we'd crush those in Mountain Dew, because the Mountain Dew was a little easier to get a hold of. But we'd get Jolt, and I realize now looking back, and that was probably about 13, 14 when I started doing that. Mini Thins. I used to eat Mini Thins. God, I was starting around 12 or 13. I was a little speed freak. Um, any kind of speed you could give me, from sugar and caffeine all the way to um,
Speed.
the Mini Thins and shit. Yeah, exactly. I would just fucking eat the hell out of it. And
I never had Jolt
Nodos.
Cola.
Oh, they were so bad. God, I
It
can
sounds
taste it in
bad.
the back of my throat, because the caffeine does have a taste. You don't taste it in most drinks because there's such a small amount, but that shit, you could taste the chemical. It was like having a aspirin in the back of your throat or something. And it was pretty foul. But yeah, I liked my
Yeah,
speed as
caffeine
a
is
kid.
very bitter. I've been doing those caffeine melts, and
Oh
they're
yeah,
very, very fucking bitter.
yeah. I started. I remember when I was working nights, I bought this. It was supposed to be like military. I don't know if it was or not. Gum, and it was caffeine gum. And I remember like you'd first chew into it, it was like, oh god, unlike most gums where you're like, oh, I hope this flavor lasts forever. You chew into that and be like, God, I hope this goes away soon. Um, but that stuff worked too. Um,
Those military grade is probably all the ibuprofen.
they just throw ibuprofen in there because hey, military. I know. I know so many guys, Marines and Army both, that yeah, ibuprofen was the cure for everything.
Got a broken arm? Ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen.
Was it Chris Rock, the Robitussin skit? Got a
Oh,
broken leg? Put some tussin on it.
cussing. I remember my mom telling me a story about how, and this would have been fucking 1940s, I guess, give or take, and they would give them coal oil, and I was like, "What the fuck is coal oil?" And as far as I can tell, it's like lamp oil. It's like kerosene. And I was like, no, 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 that can't possibly be what your grandma was giving you. But yeah, apparently it was believed at one time that that would help like cure coughs and things like that. It's like Jesus,
Well, yeah,
that
you
would.
can't cough if you're dead.
Just roll you some of that coal.
Yeah,
Coal.
rolling coal.
Rolling coal. That's how I can tell that. That's how I can tell that Robbie is from the South. Is the way he says oil.
No. Some
Doug,
olive
say
oil,
oil.
some vegetable oil.
Oil. I love it. Our buddy Russ, he does the same thing. Yeah, change my oil. I'm sorry, you're what? Oil? The fuck is that? Like the I just drops out. Like the I is just too much to fucking say in there. Cutting on the lights, cutting off the lights.
We also
Dog with a W.
We also cut motherfuckers. Just saying that out loud.
Oh, you're from the South, Doug? Oh, I didn't know that. You and that Boston accent. I didn't think that was. I
No,
didn't think that was Southern.
but some motherfuckers need stabbing.
A good old stabbing. My favorite was someone would say, "Hey, do you want a Coke?" And you say, "Oh yeah, what kind?"
What kind?
What do you mean? I got Mountain Dew, I got Pepsi, I got Sunkist, and you're like, "But you
Where do
said
they
a
do
Coke."
that?
Do what?
Where do they do that?
Georgia,
Alabama, they did it. Georgia, Mississippi,
Oh, really?
Florida.
Florida. Yeah. So
Yeah, my
ask you.
family says pop because they're
Pop.
from up in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I took shit. I took so much shit for calling it pop when I first moved. And what's funny is to this day I don't call it pop anymore. I say soda. So
Yeah, I started saying soda when people didn't know what the fuck I was talking about when I said pop.
and pop seems like it seems weird to say now. And what's funny is Rich, who used to do the podcast with us, says pop. Colorado, they say pop out here. So, but yeah, Coke. There was a bunch of fun little colloquialisms like that I fixin'. Jesus, I still say fixin'. What are you gonna do today, Dan? I'm fixing to clean the apartment.
Yeah, I reckon.
I'm about to be fixing to get ready to do
it. Exactly.
Over yonder, down in the holler.
Not down in the holler. Did you say creek or crick?
Creek.
Creek. Doug, creek
I'd
or
heard
crick?
both.
It's creek.
Creek. What about you, Adam?
I say creek, but I also don't. I don't talk. I don't
Well,
have
that's
a
fair.
too much of a
Yeah.
southern thing going on.
Because the Midwest,
Roof
Ohio,
and roof was another one.
roof and
Yep.
roof. Yeah.
Roof
Yeah.
and
Fucking dog
nails.
noise.
What is it?
Rough.
Roof. I say roof. But
Well, also in the South, shitting doesn't have a G on the end of it. It's shitting.
shitting.
Well, that's
Gotta be
most
shitting
words
me.
that end with
I was
ing.
That's what I was going to say. G's are they're sacrificed quite a lot.
Yeah.
Shitting. I'm fixing to go shitting around over there.
Yep.
So I like the South. It was fun, and I think we've talked about before. It's not what, for the most part, it's not what people think it is. Yes, if you get out into the very rural areas, but I can dispel a myth for you. And that is that in the North, when you get out into the very rural areas like where I came from, it's like that there too. It's just kind of a rural thing more than it is a hemisphere thing.
No different than here.
No, it's really not. If you get out into the right places here, you hear the same kind of bullshit that you would in deep South Mississippi. So it really is just a rural thing. So, but I was taught that a lot of different people were going to hurt me and touch me inappropriately, like Uncle Steve,
Because they were
well, yeah, that's kind of what it turned out to be. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was the thing. It seemed like the more of an isolated area that you grew up in, the more there was fear of anything that was different.
Right. Absolutely. It scares the shit out of them.
Doesn't equal bad. Different just equals different.
Oh, I thought you said dick. I thought you said because they were dicks.
Yeah. It did cut out and it sounded like that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Doug, that sounds like something you would say. So
Yeah, I mean, I do talk about dicks a lot.
you really do.
You,
Yeah.
you do dick around a lot.
Yeah.
Quit
Yeah.
dicking around.
Yep. I dick around a lot.
I
That
dick
was the
Fucking around,
story of how
dicking
you got your
around.
Weebelo badge.
I think you're pronouncing it just a little bit off there, Robbie.
Yeah, that's how you say it in the South.
Yeah, that's how it's said in the South. We below.
I thought it was Weeblo. So never mind. Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Damn it, Uncle Steve.
There you go. What was the Luigi thing you had earlier?
Waluigi time.
There it is. I love
Are we
it.
going to give the detainees a break and
Look, Doug,
bring this
we're
train
here.
into the station?
We're here to protect the sanctity of the United States of America.
Tell us everything you fucking know right now, I swear to God.
We will continue to talk about stupid shit.
How much do birds shit?
I mean, I don't know.
Well, they eat half their body weight a day.
There you go. So
At least the flighted birds, the ones that actually fly around and shit. The ones on the ground, no fucking
fly
clue.
around and shit.
They do fly around and shit.
Yeah, as opposed to the ones that walk around and shit. So
Just leave
Okay,
a trail of
Shit
shit
around
behind
and fly.
shit around and find out.
them. Jesus Christ.
Well, so we can just continue with this bird stuff and give the guards a little bit of a break for
We got it from here. We got it.
yeah.
Guys, go get you a smoke. We got this. We got this.
While Canadian geese are actively eating grass, they shit every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes?
Yes,
I
they eat
believe
a
that.
lot of grass. They shit a lot, which the preferred grass for geese isn't anything of a particular variety. They like something that's been well fertilized, and they like it short so they can see predators coming. So that's why if you ever play golf and when they quit running the lawnmowers and whatnot in the winter, you will find goose shit everywhere.
They like the green.
Yes, they will shit all over a green. I have had to knock goose turds out of the way so I can sink a putt.
I was going to ask, tell me you have ADHD without telling me you have ADHD. But
Yeah, so that reminds me of walking around Stanley Lake over there, a little west of Denver. All the goose shit.
lots of goose shit. Well, they apparently
Anyways,
shit every 10
ADHD, you were saying?
minutes. Yeah. Squirrel. You know what helps with ADHD? Caffeine. And you know where you can get caffeine? By drinking not Monster energy drinks.
Should make a ADHD energy drink. Has nicotine and caffeine mixed together.
And Ritalin.
And Ritalin.
We should come up with an over-the-counter version first.
I like
Oh,
that.
okay, I got you. Yeah, we
What
don't
if,
want to.
what if you buy one of our energy drinks and you get like 2 free cigarettes?
Dear God.
And you smoke those and chug the energy drink. I like that idea. And tie that in.
Kickstarter, let's go.
That's what I'm saying. All right. But again,
free carton of cigarettes with your
free carton of
energy.
cigarettes with every purchase of a gun.
Use coupon code not monster.
Not Monster energy drink. Not Monster energy drink. Yeah.
It's a mighty busy place when a broadcast is being made from the studio. Great banks of lights swivel down to flood the scene. Cameramen wheel in and out to pick up the action from the angles directed by the director.